Have you seen Hard Knocks on HBO before?
Oh yeah.
So, for some of you who maybe are NFL football fans, there's this fabulous show on HBO that's been around for over 20 years now.
Which is
And what they
great.
do is they follow a NFL team in the preseason, preparing for battle, getting their team ready. And in the early years, they spent a lot of time focusing not on the superstars. Yes, the superstars made cameos, but they spent a lot of time focusing on the kids who were trying to make the team. They're trying to chase their football dream. And as a reminder, these guys who were trying to make an NFL team, they were probably the best players on their college team, certainly the best players on their high school team. And now they're trying to chase that dream. And if they don't make this squad, for all intents and purposes, their NFL dreams, their dream of being a professional football player is gone. And now they've got to, quote unquote, go get a real job. So it was a really nice sort of glimpse into the world of a guy trying to make that roster. And week by week through camp, they make cuts. And one organization had the guy who had to go deliver the bad news, and they called him the Turk. And he would go to that young guy's room at camp, knock on the door, and said, "Hey, coach wants to meet with you. Bring your playbook."
Mm.
They knew what that meant. Take your playbook, go sit with the coach. He tells you how great you are, how hard you tried, how much he appreciates you, how much he's pulling for you, but how there's not a spot on this team. But don't give up. Keep getting better. Maybe we'll take a look in the future. AKA, you're fired. And the one guy who was delivering this bad news on Hard Knocks that particular season, Jeff, said he's learned in this league that everyone can be useful, but no one is necessary. And I really like that. We've always heard everyone's replaceable. I don't really like that idea of saying that. But everyone can be useful, but no one is necessary. AEW existed before CM Punk. AEW will exist after CM Punk. He could have been very useful, but unfortunately, he's not necessary. And I think that's what I was reminded of most of all this past week, because from the outside looking in, I'm thinking, man, this guy helped land a new TV show allegedly with Warner, sells a lot of merch, sells a lot of pay-per-views, pops ratings. Like, this guy seemingly checks all the boxes. Can't let that guy go. I had to remind myself, Eric Bischoff once held a meeting to tell everyone he was going to personally bankrupt Ric Flair. Shit happens. And here's what I know most of all, I think, though. We ain't heard the last of Punk. And I like that.
Oh, I've said it multiple times on today's podcast, and I've thought it in my mind that, I mean, gosh, and this sounds so repetitive. Never say never.
Yes.
In so many different ways. There's also another saying that, from my personal experience, BS and nowadays the perspective, the lens that I, really look at things through is what a massive difference in do you want it or do you need it? We want a lot of things, but what do we really need? And there's just a difference in all that. And in our industry, there are so many times that in my life, there are so many times that I look back on and go, man, that was a really dark day. And it turns out it is the dawning of a new day that some of the greatest things happen. Who knows what the future holds for all parties involved? Literally all parties involved. But All Out was a grand slam without question, and life's going to go on for everyone, personally and professionally. And that's the now I'm going into my rides back from Memphis. My dad absolutely loved Monday night rides because he would know how his Saturday morning angles worked, and he got to go to the box office on Monday night and see how it did. And then he's got a blank sheet of paper driving home every Monday night, and you can control your destiny right there. What are you going to do tomorrow to affect positive change in your life? that's where we're all are at. And that's kind of cool about life, that every day is truly a new day. So exciting time, Conrad, for the Last Outlaw, to say the least.